Hello all and welcome to the next video here in the Onion Man's Rooftop 2 at a cow caravan of treasure. Sometimes bartered. The streak continues as it always will. It will not end. And we are on the next episode of a game show. What kind of show? A game show. Why? Because I couldn't think of a more clever name. Anyway, it's the gaming stuff from the Dallas trip. I'm filming this back to back with the stuff I showed off from the second annual Dallas trip. That's what I'm going to start calling it now. The annual Dallas trip. And at the beginning of that video, I showed off that I went to a retro game store and I picked up this bag and this box, not this, but this box and this bag I got at that game store. And I just kind of briefly teased what was there. And I mentioned how I was going to save it for the next episode of a game show. Well, here we are. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, get it out of the way, and go from there. First things first, first thing I'm going to start off with, I picked up a copy of Diablo 4. Finally, I love Diablo. Diablo is one of my top 3 favorite franchises of all time. However, I was holding off on starting it because I wanted a physical copy. I could not find a physical copy anywhere. My Walmart and GameStop here where I live did not have physical copies. They were sold out. All they had left were the digital cards. I did not want that. Stopped at a random Walmart when I was in Dallas. They had Diablo 4. Went ahead and picked it up. Called it good. So, really excited to play Diablo 4. I love Diablo. Next thing, these are both from the same store. I talked about in the last video with the Dallas stuff that there were a lot of retro game stores, but only one of them ended up being like a real retro game store that had old stuff. Everything else, I feel like just threw the word retro in there to, I guess, draw in people. I don't know what it was, but this was the only place that actually had like full cabinets and racks and aisles of old games. And we ended up being there for like over 2 hours because we looked through every case and every row and every aisle. We looked at everything. And I did not get this. I actually got this the second time I went back to the store. What's in this bag, I picked up on the first trip. And I'll start with this bag because this is, the first trip and then the second trip. So, we'll go there. Just try to get this out of the way. Yeah, so I had saved up, like every year going into the summertime, I save up a little bit of money here and there, knowing that I'm always going to take some kind of trip or multiple trips during the summer just to alleviate my boredom. The Dallas trip always being one. And then sometimes I'll take a mini trip to go visit a friend somewhere or whatever. But I always save up a lot of money because bigger cities have toy stores. They have toy stores, game stores, all kinds of stuff. I want to be able to spend money comfortably while I'm there and find cool stuff. So I always set money aside. Collecting tip for you. Don't try to... I talked about this in the Dallas video, the previous video. Don't ever try to buy everything all at once. It just leads to bad, like, collecting remorse, buyer's remorse. If you like collecting stuff, build up to it. Go on the hunt. Find things here and there. Save money. That's how I'm able to get stuff. I always put money aside for trips, like you don't just plan a vacation and randomly take it unless you just have all the money in the world and you can blow it. But always save up your money. Just kind of, be responsible when you're collecting. So I always do that. Knowing I was going to like a real retro game store, I had a lot of money saved. I was like, okay, like we're going to try to find some stuff. This is what I got on the first trip. The second trip was like, after I didn't find some of the things I was looking for outright, I'll tell you, I was looking for a couple of different Hot Toys figures. Did not find those at all. That's when I was like, hey, I asked my brother, can we go back to that first store? So a couple days later, we went back to the game store and I picked up what was in the box. But this was the first trip there, so we're going to go into this. It's a lot of games. If you're not familiar with this place, they are called Found It Electronic and Video Games. So big shout out to them because their store was like really clean. The people there were pretty nice. I will say one thing about when I bought the game console that I was a little annoyed by, but like I'll go into that when I get into that video, when I get into the box there. But the guy that helped us with this was really cool. Like you would go and ask like, hey, can I get these games out of this case? And if there were multiple games, he would let you pick which one you wanted, like which one's in better condition. You want this one or this one? It was really cool. So I'm going to start off with the first things first. just some N64 stuff. I got 2 N64 games, and I'm going to describe to you how they were selling them. So I picked up WCW NWO World Tour and Revenge, 2 classic THQ wrestling games. I have WrestleMania 2000, and I have No Mercy. I had the WCW games. I guess I lost them when I moved and stuff. I don't know what happened to them, but I could not find them for the life of me. So, I don't know, maybe I did sell them at some point. So, got everything again. Cool. So the way their store worked was anything with, they were having a pink tag sale. Anything with a pink tag was buy one, get one. So, bought a game, got a game for free. Pretty cool. That's why I got like a whole bag full. It was, pretty cheap to get a bunch of stuff that I've been looking for. I had lists on my phone, and I sent the same list to my brother, and I was like, okay, you go to this part of the store, and then we'll rotate and look for stuff. So that's the way it can work. Next up, picked up some classic Xbox games. These were also buy one, get one. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So the pink tag thing worked cross-genre, cross-platform. So let's say you bought an N64 game with a pink tag, you could get a PlayStation 2 pink tag game for free. It wasn't like you had to buy N64 to get N64. No, you could do it with any platform. It was really cool. I got 4 classic Xbox games. I'm going to save one here for a minute because it's a bit of a grail game for me. I picked up Psyops. It's all wrapped in the plastic still, so pretty cool. Says $10. It was a pink tag game, so there you go. Buy one, get one. I got Goblin Commander. That's another one. It's all wrapped up. The guy told me that like all their games are in great shape, and if they're not, they refurbish them and then put them out. They clean up the discs, so everything's guaranteed. So cool. And I picked up the Da Vinci Code, which has a Blockbuster sticker on it. That's pretty funny to me. This game sucks, but God, it's like one of those weird, so bad it's good games. I got another game in the bag that's like that too, so there's those. And then this was not a pink tag game. I had to do some haggling to get this one, but I picked up a copy of Stubbs the Zombie, an original Stubbs the Zombie, not the remake. So really cool. It's missing the manual, which is what I basically used to bargain for it because it wasn't a complete copy. But the disc itself is... hold on here, let me get it out. The disc itself, though, is like super clean. So there you go. And that's like the quality of all their disc games. Like they're super clean. They run them through the machine if they're not, and it's really cool. All their stuff is like tested. It was great. So they had it listed for $39.99. I told the guy, I was like, look, they had 2 copies. They had a complete copy with the manual, but the cover art was like very faded. And then they had this one, no manual, but disc was really good. And so I used that to my advantage. I was like, look, you're asking 40. There's no manual. I'd be willing to go like 30 because it's missing that manual. And he molded over, and when I checked out, he threw it in for me for the 30. So you can haggle there, which is nice. I like being able to haggle for stuff. But yeah, Stubbs the Zombie, a minor holy grail game for me. It's not one of my tippy top ones, but it's one that I've been looking for a while. And when the remake came out, I for sure knew I wanted to get an original copy. And we actually talked about that. He was like, man, I remember when Stubbs the Zombie was like almost $100. Like it was hard to find. And I was like, I think it's because, we were talking about how like the remake coming out might have lessened the value of Stubbs the Zombie, which is good for me because I was able to get it way cheaper than I would have a couple of years ago. Picked up 1 PlayStation game. I picked up BioFreaks. This was also not a pink label game, but I only paid $12 for it, so there you go. Pretty cool. I like BioFreaks. Kind of goes with the Da Vinci Code in that it's so bad it's good. So there you go. Once again, whoa. Oh, I forgot the tape is on there. I have to pull that tape off. Oh, a little dusty. Disc is a little dusty, but really clean for a PS1 game, so Super excited to play some Biofreaks. If you know about Biofreaks, then you know like how janky of a game it actually is. It's so bad it's good. That's the way I always kind of viewed it. Put these up here. And then everything else is like a lot of old retro stuff. Some of these were pink tag, but they didn't have a pink tag on them. But the case they were in, it said, these are pink tag games. And the guy basically told me they didn't want to have to take everything out and put a pink tag on it, so they just put the sign on the case. So the majority of these were all buy one, get one as well. They just don't have the pink tag on them. And it's pretty much all NES games. So, yeah. First up, classic. Went ahead and picked up a Mario Duck Hunt. So, I mean, pretty standard. That I think if you own an NES, then you need Mario Duck Hunt. I mean, like, I think that's pretty whatever. Metal Gear. Was excited when I saw they actually had the original Metal Gear. So, really cool. Excited to have it. They did have Snake's Revenge, Metal Gear 2. The only reason I didn't get that is because, Metal Gear 2 kind of sucks. It's not a canon video game. It's not part of the story. Don't let anybody try to convince you that it is. Spy Hunter. Classic Spy Hunter. I love classic Spy Hunter, so I had to pick it up. Throw it back in there. Really nice. And these are all in, like, fantastic shape. So, yeah, full labels and everything. Picked up Galaga. Yeah, I love Galaga. Funny enough, I was going to wait. I didn't realize Galaga is not on the system that's in the box over there. Galaxian is, but not Galaga. So I had to pick it up on the NES instead. I picked up Batman, the video game. Classic little kind of platforming action game with Batman. Batman had some pretty good games back in the day. So really, really happy to pick this one up. Picked up just a classic copy of Tecmo Bowl. Again, really nice shape. So really happy to have that one. And lastly, I got Astyanax. This one's probably the one that's in the roughest shape. There's a little bit of yellowing around the label and a little bit up here on the clamps. But it's not too bad. Yeah. There were two other games they had in that case that were part of the buy one, get one that I was going to buy. But the guy taking them out of the case noticed that they were cracked. The cartridges were cracked, the shells. So I ended up not getting them. They had a copy of Bart versus the Space Mutants or whatever. And then they had Krusty's Funhouse. Both of them were cracked and had some pretty bad yellowing on them, so I passed them up. But those were on my list, and I almost got them. But if they were in just too bad of shape for me to warrant getting, even with buy one get one. I just didn't want to risk that. So that's all the games, at least for now. The other box has more games in it, but that's going to be way more exciting. So let's go ahead and get into that. So yeah, Astyanax, Tecmo Bowl, Batman, Galaga, Spy Hunter, the original Metal Gear, and Duck Hunt. All for the NES. Pretty cool to finally have all these. I wasn't expecting to buy a lot of NES while I was there. I was actually expecting to buy more Genesis, and I didn't find any Genesis games that I wanted. Most of their Genesis collection was loose, just the cartridges. Genesis is the only one of the retro game consoles, like from the 90s below, that I collect in the case. I don't know why, I just like those plastic cases. We got the WCW N64 games. Biofreaks, So Bad It's Good. A Grail game for me, Stubbs the Zombie, an original copy. Janky ass Da Vinci Code, Goblin Commander. I've never played it, but I've always heard it's a really fun RTS game. And then Psyops. So pretty cool. Good stuff. I rounded out a lot of, especially the NES collection with this trip. So I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through collecting what I want for the NES. I'm not going for a full collection. That's not my thing. But out of all the games I want, I'm like 3/4 of the way there. I knocked so much of it out in just one go. It was really nice. Onto the box. I teased this before. I'm going to try to tease it again a little bit here. We have an Atari Junior and a bunch of games. And all of the Atari games were all Pink Label games. Buy one, get one. It was amazing. So yeah. Granted, Atari games, not hard to find. You can find the majority of all the Atari games really cheap online. So I wasn't too surprised they were all buy one, get one. So just taking some stuff out here first. I'm going to set the box down so I can kind of show off everything individually as I pull it out. All the cables are here. So yeah, they even threw in this little piece, which like if you don't have an old RTC TV, you can switch this into like this little converter and put it into like a modern TV. It was really nice. He showed me how to do it while we were there. He's like, hey, you just hook it up this way, and then boom, it turned on. He's like, you still can use channel 3 and everything. I was like, awesome. So that was cool. Showed me how to do that. I've never really owned an old Atari, so I was kind of learning on the fly. And the fun thing is, I knocked out the majority of the games I had listed to find for Atari while I was there. So there's only like 4 or 5 more games on the Atari that I want now. It came with 2 paddles. Again, tested them. They both worked really well. Buttons are nice. So, nice. Happy to have those. We got one regular controller. I do not think this is an original Atari controller. I might be wrong on that. But we plugged it in, tested it. Joystick's really tight. Button's got a nice click to it. Worked perfectly. I think we were playing Breakout. I think that's what we were testing was Breakout. And then, lastly, we have the console itself, which is pretty clean. There's one little nick here on the like sticker on the front, but besides that, it's really clean. He told me about how they took it apart, like made sure everything worked. It was clean on the inside. And yeah, pre-owned $99. I will say that's not what I paid for it. I'll go into how I paid for this. Again, always ask if you can barter. That's why we are the Onion Man's Rooftop Two-Headed Cow Caravan of Treasure, and sometimes barter. But yeah, it's super clean. Other than that little nick, they had a regular big Atari 2600. I just don't know where I would put that, so went with the Junior. And the games. Again, all the games were Pink Label. The only game that there were a couple things of how this works. So I'll tell you my final price of what I paid for everything here in a minute. They threw in this game for free. Even though it was a Pink Label buy one, get one game, I was looking at the bottom. I noticed the little cap that goes on the bottom of Atari games is broken, and one of the little things here is broken. You can actually hear it juggling around in there. But we did stick it in and test it, and it worked. But because it was broken, they just threw it in. They were like, you can have that one. So pretty cool. Got Solaris. Never played Solaris. We put it in to test it and make sure it worked, but we didn't actually play it. So I'm honestly not too sure with Solaris. I just kind of picked it out just because it looked cool. And then I noticed it was broken and they gave it to me. Games I actually did get. We got Slot Racers. A little racing game. See, like that's what it's supposed to look like. And Solaris does not look like that. Again, a little beat on the cover, but for the age, I think it's pretty cool. The fact that the sticker is all intact and everything. So, nice there. We picked up 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. This was kind of one, like, to even out the number of games I had that were buy one, get one. I was like, what do I get? Because none of them looked appealing, and I was like, screw it, we're just going to get Tic-Tac-Toe. Breakout, we played a little bit of Breakout while we was there. It's the game we put in to test the system. I love Breakout, so pretty cool. I'm actually kind of going in ABC order here now that I look at it. Not quite. Picked up basketball. I remember basketball from the. No, that wasn't basketball, was it? The old plug and play Atari. It wasn't basketball. It was something else. But yeah, I don't think these are like actual players on the cover. There were no big announcements back in the day. What was this, like early 80s? Mid 80s? Be like, oh, Magic Johnson on the cover of Atari basketball. Blackjack. Simple. It's just like casino blackjack. I like blackjack. I like card games. Poker, etc. We got bowling. So now you and your cousin Nico can go bowling at home. We got Surround, which if you don't know what Surround is, it's basically Snake before Snake. Actually, I think it is Snake. They just changed the name, right? Pretty cool, though. We got Defender. Classic. Love it. We've got Vanguard. This one I'm not as familiar with, to be honest. But when I was looking up stuff before we went back to the store, I saw a lot of people recommending Vanguard. And this one probably has the cleanest sticker on it. It looks almost brand new. But fantastic. And then, of course, we got Yar's Revenge. So pretty nice. Another really clean sticker on this one. And then last two. There's two more games here. They did not have the third one. We have two Sword Quest games. We have Sword Quest Earthworld and Sword Quest Fireworld. They did not have Sword Quest Waterworld. I believe it is called Waterworld. So it's a 3-part series. There's 3 games: Earthworld, Fireworld. I need to find Waterworld, and then we're good. But they were all Pink Label games, buy one get one. So there you go. Plus the console, plus all that. So kind of going into it, the console itself was $99. You saw that sticker, and all these games were all buy one get one. At the end of the day, he had remembered me from a couple of days before when I bought all the other stuff. And then he saw that I was getting this, and we kind of were working out a deal. And he just outright told me, he was like, for $100, I'll give you the console and all the games. And I was like, seriously? And he was like, yeah. He's like, Atari's cheap. It's not hard to collect for. He's like, if you want all the games, if you're going to buy the full console with the cords and the controllers and everything, I'll throw in the games. So I wish I could remember his name. I do not remember his name. But shout out to Found It Electronics and Video Games. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go there because they were super cool. They'll cut you great deals if you're getting multiple things. So yeah, we got an Atari set up. It's something I've been contemplating for a while. It was not something I was actually expecting to actually get, to be 100% honest with you. I kind of figured there'd be some old Atari stuff there. I just thought, like, due to its age, I wouldn't find anything aesthetically appealing. It would be kind of beat, and I wouldn't want to get it. But then when I saw how in good of condition this Atari Junior was, I was like, oh, shit. And I went ahead and I pulled the trigger on it. So there you go. All the games are in really good shape. Some of their stickers are a little faded and worn. Solaris works, but is broken. So I think I might go out of my way, and I'll be honest with you, I'll probably look for another copy of Solaris that's not as messed up. But, just getting it thrown in there, getting all these games thrown in there for basically the price of just the console and everything, I can't complain. I loved it. It's a store that I already told my brother I will go back to, like, whether it's if I go to Dallas before next year or not, I do plan to go back to the store. They had a lot of games I did want. There was a lot of higher priced games on my list for Xbox, PS2. There's a few N64 games I really wanted, but they were just a little bit out of what I was willing to. It's not so much that they were priced out of my range. I could have got them if I wanted, but it was kind of one of those things where, again, I didn't want to just buy everything at once. I want to be able to go back and hunt again later and enjoy my time doing that. So I settled on getting like the Atari stuff. Well, that was afterwards, but I settled on like, let's see what how many of these cheap games I could knock off, which was like a ton for the NES and a few for the Xbox. And then I kind of told myself, okay, I'm gonna get one pricey game. What do I want to get? And I settled on Stubbs the Zombie because of just how clean the disc was and how great it looked. So ended up with Stubbs the Zombie. But that's it. That's it for the video. That's the end of this episode of a game show. So this stuff plus finding Diablo 4 at a Walmart, pretty cool. Really excited again. Found it. The name of the store is Found It Electronics and Video Games. They're super friendly. Everything there is super clean. They tell you how they clean stuff. When you're checking out, they'll tell you, like, you know how to clean pin games, right? Like, there's a little bit of alcohol. I was like, yes, trust me, I've been doing this shit for years. Like, so they're really helpful, really friendly. It's a really cool store. Go check it out. New games, lots of old games. You'll spend hours in there just looking at everything. It's really cool. And that's it for this video. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You do not have to if you do not want to. But of course, I always appreciate anybody who does. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.